we showing? Well, what we specifically wanted to do is we knew that we wanted to capture people for an extended period of time. So we're showing off the toy, we're showing off the open world, and we're showing off exploration and discovery. And what we're allowing the player to do is sort of climb a tower and open up the map and see the open world and see all the points of interest and see the encounter system that we've got and see the outposts. And the outposts are the secret sauce for us. We make sure that the player, when they take that over, they understand that once they own that territory, from there it's quests and it's all points of discovery for them to explore the map and discover everything that Far Cry has to offer. What we really wanted to make sure we did was we created things that the player would come up over a berm, or they'd come up after being in the jungle for a while, and they'd see a little taste of the lawless frontier. They'd see a little taste of an area that Voss controlled. And if you remember Voss from E3, we got a big response with his personality, and we wanted him to feel like a personality bomb that went off on the island. So you run into this outpost. His men are in there, his pirates are in there. It's tough to get in. You can attack from pretty much any angle, but once you're in there, the game economy really opens up, because at that point, Dan, everything that you've found, everything that you've scrounged, every little bit of thing that you've discovered and you've had written on your arm, you can then invest in the space that's in there, getting new weapons and getting quests, and then figuring out how you're going to take over this space and own the island. You know, you think almost like a black market system, where if you've gone out and you've managed to hunt a tiger, and you've got the skin, you can go in and you can sell it. And then you can start to look for weapons that you want, and you can be a little bit more contemplative in terms of how you attack. The trick is that as you're flying over the island, or as you're working your way across the jungles and you see these dark plumes of smoke off in the distance, you know that's an outpost. And you know that if you can figure out a way inside, you're going to be able to upgrade your weapons, you're going to be able to get attachments, you're going to be able to do all kinds of things that are going to make your experience that much deeper. Every outpost has its own sort of set of unique challenges. So even just taking the outpost, figuring out how you're going to do it. Some of them are nestled on little spaces of their own and on the island. Some of them are out on the coast, so you may have to attack by coming up out of the water. Other of them are right next to cliffs, and you may have to figure out a way to jump off that cliff and take guys out. Each outpost has its own unique little bit of personality, right down to the fact that what Voss has been doing is he's been out capturing these animals. So if you're careful, and if you're conscious of it, you break out your camera, you zoom in, you tag each guy, and then you see a bear in a cage, or maybe a tiger. And you realize, wait a second, if I'm very, very careful, if I'm stealthy, if I have intentionality, I go up and I shoot the cage, out comes the bear, and it's total mayhem. What I personally like to do when I'm going to take out an outpost is I look for the water buffalo. Usually in the grasslands around some of the outposts, there's water buffalo. They're pretty tough. They're pretty much tanks. What I like to do is shoot a couple of them, get them chasing me, and then I just book right through the outpost, causing a stampede. Boatload of fun. Once you take the outpost, though, the thing is that you go into effectively the store that's inside, the locker that's inside, and you're able to get specific guns. You're able to then upgrade those guns and get attachments. You're able to get scope. You're able to get a silencer. You're able to get additions to your weapons like the bow. So if you decide that you want to put a flaming arrow tip on it, you can do that. You're able to get Molotov cocktails and do all kinds of stuff so that you can set things on fire. It's really almost a little supermarket, but based on a black market economy. The thing that we wanted to make sure we did is that with each outpost, we gave you an opportunity to play it the way you want to play it. So we've seen as people play it, it's about sort of emergent gameplay and making sure that we put in a recipe, be it on the outposts or the towers or even out in the open world, where we have an expectation of what's going to happen. And then you hand the control over to somebody, they play with the toy, and they do it in a completely different way. And so we're seeing new ways of maybe somebody's taking a Molotov cocktail and they're launching it into the grasslands and they're pushing the animals out towards the outposts. Or the other thing that's happening that's really interesting that we're seeing is that I played it about 4 days ago, and what had happened was that I took the outpost and the Ratkill warriors came and were all sort of on my side, and one of the civilians was booking by in a jeep and killed one of the Ratkill warriors. And it started like a complete war on the island between these. It was unbelievable. Cars were whipping by, guys were going after it, animals were attacking. One guy got killed by a tiger. I was kind of like, okay, I gotta watch this. I gotta watch the living island happen. The fact that we put in the ingredients and we gave it a stir and then we let the player On missions, there are some very specific things that you need to do on missions, and certain missions to be successful. On other missions, it's about choose the way you're going to attack, choose the way that you're going to take this space over, choose the way that you're going to survive. If you have another mission that's a hallucination and that it's different and you're having a completely different experience, the goal was to make sure that when you're at the water cooler the next day, or you're on the bus talking to a buddy, that you're like, oh, have you done this? How did you get that tattoo? How did you get that? So that each experience, you call your friend up and go, guess what tattoo I got? Guess what? And you look at the tattoo after the game's over and you think, how did he get that? How does she get this one? So it's different for each player. It's coming out this December on PC, 360, and PS3.